with coverage you can count on. This is News 4 at 4.
Okay, Jimmy, thank you. Well, this weather is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect weather to get out and dig in the garden.
That's for sure. Of course, not everyone lives in a place where they can actually have a garden. In today's 5-Minute Gardener, Debbie Mounts does some indoor gardening. And if you have a cat, pay special attention here.
Good afternoon. I'm Debbie Mounts, and I'm the 5-Minute Gardener. I want to talk to you today about cat grass and some of the cat treats, some of the things that particularly your indoor cats would really like to have. You know, if you have an outdoor cat, you find that sometimes they go outside and they'll be nibbling on the grass. Well, they do that to help with their digestive system. It helps with their processing of the food in their digestive system. So I have planted this cat grass, and I planted this 6 days ago. You can see how quickly it grows. Now this particular grass, I have two different types here. Pardon me, this one's actually a wheatgrass, and this one here is an oatgrass, but both of them have grown very quickly in that 6-day period. Now the difference between them is the wheatgrass can have a little bit of a sharp edge on the grass, where the oatgrass tends to be a little bit softer. So I'm going to show you how to plant this grass and grow it successfully inside your house. Both of these will do really well on a bright window inside your house with really very little care. Now the first thing we're going to do, I've already got a pot here, and I've put a screen over the hole and filled the soil almost entirely up to the top. Now what you want to do is, I have 2 packages of cat grass here. You want to make sure that it's pretty well covering your entire soil surface here. But what happens is, what you want to do first is to water this soil in. Because if you throw your seeds on top without doing that, then when you're done and you go to water the seeds, then they start to float up to the top. And then it just kind of floats on the top, and you don't get them covered like you really want to do. So that's why I'm watering this soil in a little bit, getting it a little bit wet so we don't have much floating going on. Then all I'm going to do is take this package of seeds, and I'm going to sprinkle them right over the surface of the soil. And you can see this is an easy seed to deal with because it's big. Sometimes when you plant seeds, they're really tiny and they're real hard to see. Now this soil, you can see I've almost entirely covered the soil. Now what I'm going to do is just cover this with a little bit more soil, and I'm going to again water it in. You just want a light covering of soil on top of these seeds here. And when you take it inside the house, you can put it on the bright window, as I said. And one of the things that you can do is you will notice that some cats like to eat it, and some cats really just like to lie down on it. So if you have a cat that just wants to lie down on it, what you can do is you can use a bigger bowl than this bowl that I have here, kind of a wider, flatter bowl, and let the cat lie down on it. It's perfectly fine. And then the other thing that will happen with this cat grass is, if you do have a cat that is eating it constantly, it does regrow. It will regrow, and it will regrow, and it will regrow. And then it will get to a point where it's tired and it doesn't want to regrow anymore. So then what you do is you just reseed it. And you can see that that is really a quick process, considering how quickly it comes up. So now I'm just giving it a little bit more water to water it in, make sure it gets a good drink. Now once you do this, you need to water this every day. Use a gentle stream, something like a watering can like this one, that will just provide a little bit of water, enough to get a little bit of moisture just right on top of that seed. And then really all you have to do is stand back and watch the cats eat the grass. Thank you. I'm Debbie Mounts, and I'm the 5-Minute Gardener.
All right, the things we won't do for our pets, including plant grass.
Absolutely.
You're here to talk about, as well, catnip. Now, First of all, why do cats love catnip so much?
Well, it has an oil. Both in the flower and in the leaf and in the stems, there's an oil that it's like an aphrodisiac to cats. It attracts them to it, and it's almost irresistible. And about 80% of cats are drawn to it. Some of them are kind of born as genetic, and they just have no interest whatsoever, but the rest of them are like gung-ho. Yeah, and again, with the catnip, it's the same thing as with the cat grass, where some cats like to, some of them just come along and rub up on it, and some of them get up there and really chew on it, and others just kind of flop down on it and lay flat across it. We used to have a cat in the nursery. We always knew when we came in the next day that she'd been in the catnip. There's a big spot right in the middle of all the catnip. Flattened catnip, absolutely.
We've always heard that once a cat's getting the catnip, they're just going to act kind of wild and crazy and they're running all over. Is that true or is that a myth?
I've not ever seen any cats really run around crazy. Generally, they're just kind of lethargic and kind of got that 60s attitude working, you know, that kind of, oh, whatever, man.
Peace dude.
Yeah, he's peace dude, exactly, exactly.
And when you're growing catnip, I mean, are there specific seeds, catnip seeds?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
There are. And generally, catnip isn't quite as easy to grow indoors as the cat grass is. It likes a cooler temperature. So if you have a cooler window, and you can't grow it very well in the summertime, you want a cooler window or a spot that maybe doesn't have the heater blowing on it, or you can direct seed it outside. Right about this time of year is a great time to do that. And it's a nice looking plant too once it gets up big and it flowers.
And same thing with the watering and everything. You just water it every day.
Yes, water it every day until the temperatures start to cool. When the temperatures really start to cool, then you don't want to water it so much. You can actually overwater it.
Now, talking about the cat grass, you said they'll keep eating, it'll keep growing.
Right.
Eventually, though, you're going to have to reseed.
Right.
At that point, do you pull up the roots? How deep do the roots go?
The roots, it's easy to pull it up. I mean, you could easily just even take a fork or something if you wanted to and just kind of rake it out and pull it out and put
very
a new
shallow then.
Very shallow, right. It would be an easy thing to do.
Okay.
Yes.
The things we won't do for our pets, I can't get over it. But they really do like it. And for indoor cats who don't get a chance to get out,
it's excellent.
It's nice for them to have that little, because there's something about walking on grass.
Yeah, there is.
And real quickly, do they use it as a litter box as well? Is that something you have to be worried about?
No, they don't. No, thank you. That would be kind of tacky.
We'll have none of that.
Yes, exactly.
Debbie, thank you